what belongs to you.
If I ever lose, then I swear
in trouble.
Yeah, I've been the one, see they've been the two.
You're better than us. No. Slam down.
Winner, 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 winner. Winner, bury me a sinner.
It ain't about how you look, it's about how you hit.
Sacked again.
All about finding a way to play for championships.
Yeah, we coming.
The college football playoff is finally set. We have the matchups and we have the lines for the two biggest games of the year. And we have Greg McElroy to break down the matchups he's looking forward to. What's up, Greg? And we have the Bear, Chris Felica, to break down what the odds makers are telling us. Guys, first up, Michigan and Georgia. The Bulldogs are 7.5-point favorites. Greg, what matchup will decide this game?
Well, I'm going to need to be listening more closely to Bear. I think that's an investment opportunity. When I look at this game, you look at the defensive line for Georgia, long considered the strongest position group in college football. Depth, size, speed, anchored by a 360-pound nose tackle in Jordan Davis, who's a complete disruptor and is absolutely impossible to run the football against. However, that group struggled against Alabama, couldn't generate the pressure that they had on several different occasions throughout the season. So will they get back on track against arguably the best offensive line in college football? Michigan has been playing with an edge all year long, and their team has really rounded into form, centered around a physical presence along the line of scrimmage offensively. This group will absolutely maul you. Going against Iowa, look, Iowa's not known for their speed. They're not known for their passing attack. They're not known for explosive offense. What they are known for is being difficult to run the ball against. And guess what Michigan did? They took it right to them to the tune of 40-plus points. They've now scored 40 points in several consecutive games. So this offense is imposing their will even against the best defenses in college football. And they're going to be going up against what I think is the best defense when they tee it up in the semis.
Chris?
Yeah, I think what Greg hit on there is important because I wonder if I think the matchup favors Georgia here with their defensive line against the Michigan running game. So I think probably what you're going to see is a little bit of breaking some tendencies here. A lot more first down passes, play action passes. But I think it's 7.5 what this number opened at, and there were even books that opened it higher. I think that kind of shows that they're welcoming Michigan money. I think it shows that the books feel pretty good about Georgia, and they're not going to have that knee-jerk reaction about how poorly Georgia played in the SEC championship game, because Michigan does not have the type of players on the outside like Jamison Williams and Mechie before he got hurt, and Billingsley and some of the other players that Alabama did to be able to expose the weakest part of the Georgia defense. I think the odds makers looked at this matchup and they feel pretty comfortable at a team that had been so dominant over the course of the year in that they're still willing to give the public maybe Michigan and the touchdown. Go ahead and take that.
Alabama, guys, takes on Cincinnati, the first group of 5 team to make the playoff. The Crimson Tide are favored by 13.5. Greg, what position group needs to do their thing for Cincinnati to just hang around in this game?
Well, they need to do what Georgia was unable to do. They need to be able to cover these wide receivers. Jamison Williams, like Bear just referenced, that's the biggest name for Alabama on the perimeter, especially on good news. Forces they have a skilled player in the corner. And guys that have length. We're talking about Sauce Gardner, who's 6'2" and change. Kobe Bryant, yes, that's his name, named after the Black Mamba, Kobe Bryant. At the other side is the Thorpe finalist, one of the most productive defensive players in the country. So these are a defensive mindset. They want to go press man, they want to get physical, and they want to disrupt the rhythm of the opposing passing game. So they actually have the pieces to be able to match up against a very talented receiver core.
Felica,
and I
10 seconds. 10 seconds, we're up against it. Go.
I think the odds makers clearly have respect for Cincinnati opening this game underneath 2 touchdowns, willing to give 14 in Bama. I agree with Greg. Wouldn't surprise me if the Bearcats hung around here.
Excellent as always, guys. Thank you. And just in, UConn women's basketball sophomore guard Paige Beckers underwent diagnostic testing after suffering a non-contact injury to the left knee in Sunday's game versus Notre Dame. An MRI and CT scan revealed a tibial plateau fracture. The estimated time of recovery for the best player in the universe is 6 to 8 weeks. Ooh, that is a blow. Hopefully we'll see her in the tournament. Okay, the NFC East is getting, can you say interesting? 8-4 Cowboys, currently 2 games up on Washington. But Dallas has lost 3 of their last 5 games after starting the season 6-1. And they're at Washington, 1 Eastern on Sunday. It was suddenly hot. They'll play twice in the next 3 weeks. Washington has won 4 games straight following their Week 9 bye, and now they're sitting at 6-6. They have the longest current win streak in the NFC. Patriots, of course, 7 in the AFC. Football Power Index likes the Cowboys' chances, though Dallas has a 90% chance to win the East. Dallas is the FPI favorite in 4 of their 5 remaining games, including both games against Washington, but those are NFC East rivalry games. Washington's defense is playing better. If the Cowboys are to get the title, they need Dak healthy. Here's Jerry Jones.
Yes, the thing that you're seeing is sometimes the pass that looks errant is because the receiver, for instance, ran the route 2 yards, cut it off 2 yards shorter. That's one of the answers. Better routes.
It's never the quarterback's fault. Jerry. Graz, what are people around the league saying about Dak? Is he healthy?
I believe he's healthy, yeah. I think there's issues there have been personnel and who's on the field and who's not, right? They had to play games without Tyron Smith, their left tackle. They've had Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb in and out of the lineup. Ezekiel Elliott is playing hurt. You know, they've had other issues on the offensive line. Al Collins was suspended. Right. So I think there's a feeling that Dallas hasn't really been whole for most of this year. I don't get the sense that – I mean, look, I think there are people out there that would tell you, has Dak been perfect? No. Does he need to be better? Sure. Should he be the kind of guy that can carry them in spite of all that? Yes, for that money. But I think ultimately when his group is around him, it'll snap back to what it was.
Yeah, let's not forget either, Dak didn't do most of training camp, right, because of the shoulder and the issues. So the only real receivers he's worked with is when you get into the season are his ones. And so when your ones go out for, when Cooper goes out, and I mean, so it's a big deal. Timing and precision on routes does matter. So Jerry, he's not speaking lies right there. That is honesty. You have to run precise routes because quarterbacks believe it and trust it and are throwing to a spot. That's what the best ones do. So don't put it all at his feet.
Forgive us fans, right? But just football fans. But when you say practice with the ones, he really has 2 number 1 receivers.
Yeah.
So what people see is 2 number 1 receivers. Pollard's explosive.
Yes.
Ezekiel Elliott. Studs wherever you look on the offensive line. Tyron Smith's back, like all these guys. And when they don't get it done, you think, okay, well, last year was hurt. 2 years ago he was healthy. They went 8-8. Right? At what point does Dak have to justify the contract by kind of overcoming that stuff?
Now is the time. I mean, you think about this Washington football game. This is a tricky game for them. It's a trap game, and they better understand. Like, Ron Rivera understands how to slow down explosive offenses. If this game gets into the third quarter and it's a tight game, I think the Washington football team is playing with house money. I think they play free. I think the Cowboys tighten up. I think they need to start fast and show and kind of keep this thing going, the gas pedal down, if they want to take this Washington football team and kind of take their heart out of it.
As much as I hate the Washington football team and the Philadelphia Eagles as a New York Giants fan, I hate the Cowboys even more. Oh, please let that happen. Okay, thanks, guys. To college football.
When you get to this point in the season, it's not about what you've done, it's about how you finish.
You go out here and take something that belongs to you. That's